Climbing the Overwatched ranked ladder. It isn't just about aim, mechanics, or game sense. It's about keeping a strong mental game. Too many players tilt, burn out, or give up after a loss streak, when in reality, your mindset is just as important as your gameplay. In my guide, I'll walk you through practical ways to build a healthier approach in ranked to deal with losses without tilting, and keep improving consistently, no matter what rank you're in. First, let's talk about preparation. Preparation is all about priming your body and mind before you even hit the Q button. Before you play ranked, make sure you're well rested, eating well, and sleeping well, and avoid playing if you're tired or very tilted from the previous game. In a lot of ways, a ranked session is not unlike running a marathon. Keeping a healthy body and mind will help you win more games, and I feel like this is something that's understated in a lot of other guides. Make sure you also warm up before your session. You can go into an aim trainer and practice your aim, play unranked, and make sure you get into a routine before every session. Remember, ranked isn't a test of your current skill, it's the classroom where you're developing them. A lot of times, players will default to thinking that they're bad if they can't win games or climb, but you have to remember that you're trying to hone your skills rather than seeking some form of validation. Go into ranked with the intention of improving and not winning. In order to climb, you have to become a better player, and you can't magically expect to consistently win without having to change your playstyle. If ranked anxiety scares you too much, go on into an alt account, and don't let losing SR scare you, because playing unranked game modes will not teach you how to play the game at all. You won't be pressed to improve, the matchmaking is not balanced, and players aren't going to be taking the games as seriously. Ranked is a place to practice, rather than a validation of your current skill up, and don't treat losses as major setbacks or a sign that you're bad at the game, but rather as an opportunity for you to improve. To do that, you first have to focus on your own mistakes, and the best way to do that is through self-voting. Remember that the majority of deaths are preventable. See where you went wrong every single time you die. Did you position badly? Did you waste cooldowns? Or did you take unnecessary risks, such as peeking too wide or taking unnecessary duels? After noticing these mistakes, try and focus on one or two things at a time. If you're dying due to bad positioning, focus on that every single fight. If you're dying because you're wasting cooldowns too often, pay attention to your cooldown usage the next time you play. Obviously, try not to neglect the other parts of your gameplay, but just be especially mindful to the aspect that you're trying to improve. And if you don't think you can do any more, or you don't know what you should be doing on your hero, there's a ton of educational content on YouTube, and VODs as well, from creators like Spylo, Apply, Awkward, Capitology, and Cager. They all have really good content for all heroes. And also, OBS Surgeon has really good pro POVs from OWCS that show you how it's really done. And remember, it is also completely normal to plateau or face setbacks, but through keeping a healthy mindset and learning from every loss, you will start climbing again. Now let's talk about dealing with losses, and I'd like to start off this section with a quote. You think I don't lose 10 in a row? You think Lip never loses 10 in a row? Everyone loses 10 in a row. What matters is that you try to win the 11th game. Thank you, he's saying, for this wonderful gem of knowledge. And even the best players in the world go on long loss streaks in ranked. Sometimes you get unlucky, or sometimes you just have a bad day. What matters is how you deal with those losses. And when every time you queue up ranked, you will lose a lot. And it's up to you whether or not you make those losses constructive. And there will be something to gain from most losses. According to former Overwatch League coach Jane, 1/3 of your ranked games will be unlosable, 1/3 of your games will be unwinnable, and the last third are the games you have an impact. And I stand very heavily with this philosophy. So try and focus on the games you have more of an impact on, which are those close wins and those close losses. There will be a lot of games that you couldn't have won, even if you played as perfect as you could have. Sometimes a loss will be mostly due to outside factors. You don't have to delude yourself into thinking that every single loss is solely your fault. Things like terrible teammates, bad matchups, smurfs, levers, throwers are all things outside of your influence. And remember, you only have control over your own gameplay, and whatever everyone else does is irrelevant to your goal of improving. You're also probably not playing in a rank where you frequently see the same people over and over again. And even if you are, just hit the avoid button and go next. Even though some games are unwinnable, remember, you're only playing to improve. Sometimes the healthiest thing to do is accept the loss and move on, but still try and practice good positioning, cooldown usage, and mechanics when you can. If you lose 3 or 4 in a row, take a break from the game and do something that you find relaxing. You can go on a walk, you can drink some water, but remember, tilt queuing will only make things worse for yourself. At the end of the day, Overwatch is just a game. Your self-worth should never be tied to something superficial, like ranked. Make sure you're playing for your own enjoyment, and what matters is not only trying your best to improve, but also that you're genuinely having fun doing it, in order to avoid burning out and losing your passion for the game entirely. With that being said, I wish you all the best in your ranked journey. Thank you.